Hi, I'm Jack. I'm the AIRSTREAM Carpenter. I do carpentry, I do repairs, I fix things, I show you how to use tools. And I'm not the greatest photographer in the world. I hope you'll enjoy watching the things that I can present to you. And we'll get a little bit better at doing some of the photography as things go along. Okay. Here, I just wanted to show you this pop rivet tool. I got some 1/8 inch pop rivets. They're medium length, 3/16 to a 1/4 inch grip range. The 1/8 of an inch is the diameter of the hole that you're going to be using. This particular pop riveter is shaped like this. It's nice if you want to reach into a channel and you can still grab it. Some pop riveters, the base is flat, very close, and the rivet fits very up in here. And as you can imagine, if you have a tool that's very flat, you can't get your hands under it. You can use it like this. I much prefer this particular tool. A lot of them come. This one has a mandrel for a different size rivet. This little part unscrews and you can swap these out. But basically the rivet is inserted here. You open the handle all the way up and it loosens the jaw. Whoops. I have a leftover rivet still in there. So, when this handle is all the way up, see how there's a little spring action right at the top? It opens some jaws inside of here, and this will go all the way in. You can let go, and once you let go, the spring is holding that rivet from falling out. And if you have a 1/8 hole, this depends upon your material already fitting together tightly, because this will not pull the two pieces together very well. But I just wanted you to watch. Now, I have small hands, so it's hard for me to grasp. Sometimes that's a problem, but this is not going to be a problem. So as I squish this, you'll see the bottom of the rivet right here where the little nail head is, like. It starts to pull in. I'm squishing the handle together. And that mushroom comes up, and the mushroom goes to right behind whatever your thickness is. And as you're doing this, you hold your riveter against the work tight. I just had to kind of pretend there and push it in. And you can see as it goes right down, whoop, and then it pops. Okay, so what happened there, the rivet itself came all the way up, it got tight, and the little the end piece of the rivet the part that was in the tool snapped off when it was tight. That's how it's intended to work. So this rivet, this is the outside part, and this is the part that was squished all the way up. So that's how your standard old pop rivet style of rivet works. And those are used in a lot of places in an Airstream, mostly on the interior. And they're nice because when they come through the material to the back side, they don't have a large penetration or a big mess. Actually, they're kind of rounded off, and they're good because of that. Alright? So, when Airstream shells are riveted to the frames on the outside, a rivet sort of shaped like this, it's just a head and a round body. is used. It's called a buck rivet. It's an airplane style of construction. Person on the outside shoves the rivet in up to the head, and a person on the inside holds a buck, a very hard, heavy thing up against it, and then the rivet hammer squishes it and deforms it together. And that holds most Airstream shelves together. For repairs, a lot of use is made of this, which is a tri-folding airplane style rivet. And these are coated with a sealing product, and they have a sort of a domed flange on them. I have a different tool for them, although you could use the same tool. This is one of those Milwaukee Power Pop Rivet tools that I borrowed. And I'm just going to show you how this folds up so you can see what the thing does. There's a difference here. When I turn this on, it squishes it up. Okay, and you can see this has squished it up into a little triangle like wings. So this will pull together quite solidly from the back. A couple of pieces of aluminum really hold them together really nicely, or even if you're using something else. But it has an extreme, this will grip up to 3/4 of an inch wide, so it will work if it's gripping out here. It will make that star out here, even through an extra wide part, which was cool. And it also has a nice expanded area for grasping, so it won't shake out as easily as the little tiny ones that they do on the inside. Then people that have Airstream that do them on the outside, they have a special tool to clip this flush and then burnish this middle part down, and it very closely resembles a buck rivet unless you get right up against it and look at it, but it's polished into a round dome. So that is a tri-folding airplane style rivet. I've been using a lot of these and they're very helpful. This section shows the installation of some patches, pop riveting patches on over a fender weld that had been expanded because the floor was rebuilt. I was moving the camper. I was in a hurry to get it done so we could go on over with the project. This is temporary, but we're going to see how it works out. It's a demonstration project and it's a utilitarian project until such time as I can get to a permanent repair. You see the top corner, we're going to bend a piece over the top corner. It's going to overlap the edges of the hole about an inch. Then we're going to start riveting the corners down, hold it tightly together, seal it up with some sealer to prevent bugs and cold air from coming in. This will be covered over 2 other times, once from the inside with a plywood shell, once from the inside of the wheel well with some extra thick aluminum, and this will just be old junk that's buried in the middle of the actual thing. A little bit of weight, but it's such a minor issue that it won't make any difference. Here's a technique that you want to see is how these things are pop riveted together. Okay, what I've done is I've put a mark here where I want to make sure that the aluminum comes at least this far, comes down this far, goes across up here and goes there. Then I took and simply measured down and measured across and I decided that I wanted a piece 6 inches wide by 8 inches. It's gonna go down 6 and gonna go up 2. Alright, and then at the 2.5 inch mark, we're gonna have our bend across. So I found this guy online metals, and he has the .032 alclad aluminum. This is nice. This is typical Airstream skin material. This is beautiful. He's got a little, comes with a plastic coat on it, and it's satin finish aluminum underneath. This is beautiful material. And I'm just going to keep some on hand if I need a patch or an addition or something. So I've marked my 6 inches wide. This is a 12 by 36 panel that he sells pre-cut. Great service, Online Metals. He's in Connecticut. And got this marked. And I'm just going to use these plain sheet metal cutters. I can't even remember where I got them. They just cut a little strip out of the middle. Let's see if you can watch me cut. Sorry, I'm learning how to do YouTubes, but I'm trying to pass on what I know how to do. And we'll get better at everything as we go along. I haven't even read the manual yet. So as I guess when the material jumps, you don't want the camera to jump. But one thing I'm disappointed in this camera is that it doesn't have a separate screen that I can watch what it's doing, because it's difficult to film and be in there working and watch what is being videoed. So you're setting up a YouTube, that's something that you probably want your camera to be able to do. Well, this 32 thousandths, this is thick material. You can get thinner material at Home Depot called roof flashing, which is actually quite easy to work with. Sometimes people will buy some sort of a sheet metal cutting tool, some kind of a discount tool store, which may be in your area, and think that just want to have something around that'll do the job. But a lot of people have stronger hands than me, and the traditional way, we're just saving money on a little patch. I'm gonna go to Walmart and buy a tool that will work today, or any other hardware stores. I'm a fan of them all. I've been to Ace, I've been to Home Depot and Lowe's and Harbor Freight and on and on. I went to tool stores back when they were known by the owner's name, and we didn't have all these big chains. People would go to the hardware store that their grandfather went to. The man that owned it would be behind the counter. You'd ask him questions if you needed to. Alright, so this type of tool with a slot in the middle and the blade going down, it makes a pretty straight cut without bending the other parts of the metal out of the way. So it's kind of a fight with this thick material. But the good part is, and we do lose a little bit, we lose almost a little bit more than 1/8 of an inch along the cut. And yes, I've seen people actually cut this metal with a metal cutting blade on a skill saw, a bandsaw. There are a million different ways to cut it. I hate the noise of cutting these, and sometimes I'm just going to bull my way through it. I'm going to cut this. I'm going to mark this with a good old plastic square. I have a marker here, and any marker I could find. I believe I said 2.5 inches. And just going to have a bend line here where that's going to be bent up over the edge. Set the square aside. Keep the this has plastic coating on it, so you can make all the marks on it. Like I usually use a Sharpie. I don't have one here today. Alright, so I'm going to come back to you in a couple of minutes when all this stuff is a little bit further along. Wow, this 032 2024 TT3, I wound up putting this in a vise and clamping it like that, and whacking it with a hammer and sliding it over and doing that again to get my bend. This stuff is hard metal. I thought it was going to be easier than that. I guess I am used to that roofing aluminum. So bent this, got a halfway representation. If I push it down and squish it in there, it gets pretty close to my pencil marks. Covers up the side edge, covers up the far edge, and covers what I need to up on the top. It's very close to my pencil mark. So I'm going to drill one at a time. And actually, okay, right here, where I'm pushing on it with my thumb to hold it the tightest, that's where my first rivet is going to go. So I'm going to drill right here. I'm going to open it up a little bit, find out how far I can go, probably about 1/4 inch from the outside edge, and rivet, drill and rivet, then find another place to push, drill and rivet, find another place to push and drill and rivet, and we'll show you how it goes. Alright, you can see I had an old piece of screw there. It had threads all the way up, and I did tighten it up, pulled it together a little bit. But a regular thing here, I'm pushing this together a little bit with this thumb on top, squeezing the handle back at the back end. Go. It held it down nice and tight. Now I'll probably do down here a couple of spots, over here a couple of spots. That'll keep some bugs out, and then I'll get some caulk and push it in along the bottom like that with the putty knife, so it fills all the little spaces where bugs could crawl in, or mice. And there's a patch anyway. That's all we're doing, is patching up a hole so we can go camping. Thanks for watching. And if you like, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. I am the AIRSTREAM Carpenter, and I'm going to show you how to do this fantastic project on the inside of your Airstream, which has plywood riveted to the little aluminum frames, and then it has 2x2s screwed onto that, and it builds this out for 3.5 inches so that we can put in rock wool insulation. This has a great R value, and it's sound deadens, doesn't absorb moisture, sort of rodent proof, and it's easily workable so that you can cut it, tear it, stuff it. And we're going to put that all together with some 1/4 inch panel and some little screws, lots of rivets, you can see. This shakes the whole trailer when I start wiggling this. This is a tough way to do it. Hasn't been road tested, but I'm sure most of us spend most of our time parked with our Airstreams, and we'll give it a slow, gentle ride. If you ever notice on the inside of your Airstream, it's done with aluminum paneling, and this aluminum framework, aluminum is a great conductor. Well, that's warm from the sun right now. And that conducts it right to the inside panel. And you can go along on the inside of your Airstream on a hot sunny day. You can tell right where the frames are without looking for the rivets, but by feeling it. It's not quite as hot here as it is here, but aluminum conducts the heat through. And when you start putting wood on there, wood is a natural insulator, and I'm going to go with it. I believe in woodwork. People make boats out of woodwork. They used to make Conestoga wagons out of woodwork. And I wish you all the best. So good luck. We'll see you next time, hopefully. Bye-bye.